Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Prabhupada ki jai, Vishnupada Paramaham Parivedikáचार्य स्तोत्र सत्संग श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरापुरी धाम की जय, नवदीपपुरी धाम की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 29, verse number 29. So we've got 29 and 29 today. So tatrapi sparsha vedibhyaha pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vidaha shreshtas tataha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhyaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhyaha pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tataha shabda vido varaha tataha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedinaha shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedinaha tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatrapi sparsha vedibhya pravara rasa vedina tebhyo gandha vida shreshtas tatha shabda vido varaha tatra among them api moreover sparsha vedibhyaha then those perceiving touch pravaraha better rasa vedinaha those perceiving taste tebhyaha then them gandha vidaha those perceiving smell shreshtaha better tataha then them shabda vidaha those perceiving sound varaha better. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Among the living entities who have developed sense perception, those who have developed the sense of taste are better than those who have developed only the sense of touch. Better than them are those who have developed the sense of smell, and better still are those who have developed the sense of hearing. Please repeat after me. Among the living entities who have developed sense perception, those who have developed the sense of taste are better than those who have developed only the sense of touch. Better than them are those who have developed the sense of smell, and better still are those who have developed the sense of hearing. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although Westerners accept that Darwin first expounded the doctrine of evolution, the science of anthropology is not new. The development of the evolutionary process was known long before from the Bhagavatam, which was written 5,000 years ago. There are records of statements of Kapil Muni, who was present almost in the beginning of the creation. This knowledge has existed since the Vedic time, and all these sequences are disclosed in Vedic literature. The theory of gradual evolution or anthropology is not new to the Vedas. Evolutionary processes. The different kinds of trees have touch perception. It is said that better than the trees are the fish, because the fish have developed the sense of taste. Better than the fish are the bees, who have developed the sense of smell. And better than them are the serpents, because serpents have developed the sense of hearing. In the darkness of night, a snake can find its eatables simply by hearing the frog's very pleasant cry. The snake can understand there is the frog, and he captures the frog simply because of its sound vibration. The example is sometimes given for persons who vibrate sounds simply for death. One may have a very nice tongue that can vibrate sound like the frogs, but that kind of vibration is simply calling death. The best use of the tongue and sound vibration is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That will protect one from the hands of cruel death. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chaksurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Radha Govinda Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschati Deshtarani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So, in this verse, we are looking at different types of living entities. So in the previous verse, or the verses before that, Lord Kapil Bhagwan is one of the incarnations of the Lord, and he's the one speaking here, and he's speaking to Mother Devahuti, and Devahuti is the mother of Kapil Bhagwan. So he's instructing his own mother. So mother has accepted the son as the spiritual master. This is one of the unique cases in the Bhagavatam. We know that also Naradji accepted his own father as the spiritual master. And so there are many cases like this in the scriptures. So here Kapil Bhagwan is talking about, or before this he spoke about how one should see all the living entities. They should not discriminate between different living entities, because in every living body there is the presence of the super soul, and he also said that if one sees only the Lord in the Lord's form, in the deity form, but does not see the Lord everywhere else, then that person's worship is just like putting oblations to ashes. So that's the verse, just a little bit earlier on. So that's a very nice verse, and that's spoken by Kapil Bhagwan. So, yeah, so what he's basically saying is, so he says, I'm present in every living entity as a super soul. If someone neglects or disregards that super soul everywhere and engages himself in the worship of the deity in the temple, that is simply imitation. And he also says, one who worships the deity of Godhead in the temples but does not know that the Supreme Lord as Paramatma is situated in every living entity's heart, that person must be in ignorance and is compared to one who offers oblations into not fire but ashes. So he's just trying to explain how important it is to see the Lord everywhere in every living being. And then he starts speaking about the different kinds of living beings, And then eventually he will finish with the devotee. And why does he finish with the pure devotee? He just gives the different classifications of the living beings and then finishes with devotee, who is the best of all the different kinds of living entities. Why do you think he does that? Because the devotee will be able to see that the Lord is in every living entity as the super soul. So to get that vision, you need to be a devotee. So that you have to gradually, so that's gradual evolution, different classes of living entities. So if we don't have that kind of consciousness, then we are still like an animal. Because if we are just focusing on the four things: eating, sleeping, mating and defending, ahar, nidra, bhaya, maitunam cha, samanya metat, pashubhir narana. If you are just interested in eating, sleeping, mating and defending, then who are we? If we are just focusing on those four things, animals. There is no difference between animals and human beings. Just one may be, like animal may be eating from the road, and a human being may be eating in a 5-star hotel, but that eating process is the same. Whether one is eating in a 5-star hotel or one is eating, a dog is eating from the road, or some other animal is eating from somewhere else. So ahar, nidra, bhaya, maitunam cha. Even one is sleeping. If one may be sleeping in the house, one may be sleeping anywhere else, but the sleeping process is the same. Eating, sleeping, ahar, nidra, bhaya means fearing, and maitunam cha, reproduction, is the same. And what is the thing that's different? What is the thing that differentiates between humans and animals? Intelligence. Dharma. Dharma hi eko adhiko vishesha dharmena hina pashubhi samana. The intelligence to know what dharma is. Dharmena hina pasubhi samana. If there is no dharma, then one is like an animal. So animals, if one is only interested in eating, sleeping, mating and defending, then one is as good as an animal. Those are the animal propensities. And Kapil Bhagwan starts with those things which are inanimate, like, for example, the table, this this whatever, the asan. These are they don't have the soul in them, right? They are like, there's a difference between a dead body and a living body. So living body has the soul. So no soul, then just inanimate. So that the inanimate things are inferior to the living beings. That's number one. And then he says that the next level up is the ones which display life symptoms, and then the next level up, more developed, is those which have sense perception. So like those, chair, the table, those things which are inanimate objects, they are inferior, and then more superior to those are those which have soul, and then a little bit above that is those which display the life symptoms, and then above that is what? Those that have developed sense perception. And amongst those which have developed sense perception, this verse says, Tatrapi sparsha vedibhya. So those that have, sparsh means touch. So those that have developed the sense of touch, they are better. out of those which have developed the sense perception, those who have developed sense perception. So first there is the sense of sparsha vedibhya, and better than them, pravara rasa vedina. Ras means taste. So first is those that have developed the sense of perceiving touch, and then above that is pravara means better, rasa vedina. Ras means those perceiving taste, and then tebhyo, and then better than them, gandha vida shreshtas. Gandha vida means smell, gandh. And then tatha shabda vidobaraha. And then after that there is shabdavaraha. Those perceiving shabda. Shabda means sound. So sparsh, and then taste, then smell, then sound. And then the next one he will say that from then after that it's those who can see. Seeing comes later, even later after sound. So seeing, and then later on it will be humans, and then humans who have rules and regulations, and then later on it will be devotees, and then after that, better devotees. So, and brahmanas, and then those people, the brahmanas who have got some knowledge of the scriptures, and then later on devotees. So different classifications. So within the humans also there is a lot of divisions within humans. So sparsha, and then Prabhupada writes something very nice here. He talks about the different classifications of living entities, and at the same time he talks about the lessons that we learn. He says that, he talks about the fish. He says the fish is better than the trees, right? So although there is a soul in the tree, the fish has developed the sense of taste, but the trees have touch perception. Trees, that there are certain trees, you touch the trees, they will respond, right? That in Fiji, we had that one kind of, grass or whatever, what do you call that, grass or tree? Tree probably, it's a plant. And as soon as you touch that plant, the leaves will just close. Eh? What do you call that? Touch me not tree. Okay. It's a good name. Touch me not. I like the name. So touch me not tree, because the tree, the leaves will fall. So those trees have sense perception. And those better than those trees are fish. Because the fish have developed the sense of taste. They can taste things. And better than the fish are bees, because they've developed the sense of smell. And better than them are the, Prabhupada says, serpents, snakes, because then they have developed the sense of hearing. So Prabhupada gives some examples, real life examples. So we have trees, and then we have fish, and then we have bees, and then we have serpents. And then Prabhupada also gives a few other things that we learn from. Like this is one of the incarnations of the Lord, Kapil Bhagwan. There is another very famous incarnation of the Lord. There are different incarnations mentioned in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have the four Kumaras, the boy incarnation of the Lord, and then there is Kapil Bhagwan, there is Nar Narayan, Naradji, and Nar Narayan, and all the Naradji, Kapil Bhagwan, and then there is Dattatreya Bhagwan. Dattatreya Bhagwan is also one of the incarnations. He's mentioned in the list, and he's mentioned as the sixth one. So third one is, fifth one is Kapil Bhagwan, and the sixth one is Dattatreya Bhagwan. So these are the instructions of Lord Kapil, fifth incarnation mentioned in the list of the 22 mentioned. And the sixth one is Dattatreya Bhagwan. Dattatreya Bhagwan, he was the son of who? Atri and Anusuya. He was one of the three sons. So we know that the three were born to Anusuya. The expansion of Lord Vishnu was Dattatreya. Expansion of Lord Shiva was Durvasa, and expansion of Brahma was moon god, Chandrama. So he also learned from different species. He also learned from different kinds of. He learned different lessons from how many spiritual masters? 24, 24. Yeah, 24 Guru, 24 spiritual masters. He accepted 24 spiritual masters, and he learned different lessons. So Prabhupada is not only giving the different levels of consciousness of the different living entities, he's also telling about the lessons that we can learn. We are seeing all these living entities, and they have the spirit soul, and they are all living, and then there is also the presence of the super soul in all of them. So in that sense they are all the same, because the Lord is residing in them. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hirdeshya arjuna tishtati, and also sarvasya chaham hirdi sannivishto. So everywhere there is Lord residing. So in that sense, in that way there is equality. Everyone is equal in that sense. But they may look different, they may have different bodies. So the fish is there, and fish is just after the trees. They have just developed the sense of taste. They can taste things. And Dattatreya Bhagwan accepted 24 spiritual masters. Prithvi, Vayu, Akash, Mapo, Agnish, Chandrama, Ravi. Prithvi, Vayu, Akash, Apah, Agnish, Chandrama, Ravi. So Prithvi means earth. Vayu, air. Akash, sky. Prithvi, Vayu, Akash, Apaha is water. Agni, Chandrama, Ravi. So the sun, that's 7. And then Kapotho Ajgara Sindhu. Kapot is a pigeon, kabutar. Kapot, pigeon, kapot. Kapot Ajgar is python. Ajgara Sindhu, ocean. So that's 10. Prithvi, Vayu, Akasha, Mapo, Agnish, Chandrama, Ravi. Kapoto Ajgara Sindhu. Patango Madhukrit Gaja. Patang means moth. It's a moth. Patinga. What's the lesson that we learned? Yeah, to fire. Patango and Madhukrit Gajaha. Madhukrit is honeybee. Madhukrit Gajaha is elephant. Right? And Madhuha Harino Meena. Madhuha is takes away the honey from the honeycomb. Madhuha Harino. Harin? Deer. Huh? Yeah, deer. Meena. Fish. Pingala. Prostitute named Pingala. And Kurur Arbaka. Kurur bed. and Arbakam is a child. Right? Arbaka. Yes, it's kind of bird, and they were fighting with each other because of the piece of meat. One was taking away the meat, and the other birds were running towards that. And when he gave up the meat, and then he found that now he was free from trouble. Kurar bird. Arbaka is a child. Kumari Sarkrit Sarpaha. Kumari is a young girl, Kumari. Sarkrit means the arrow maker. Sarkrit. Kumari Sarkrit Sarpaha is a snake, Sarpa. And then Urnanabi Supesakrit. Urnanabi is spider. Supesakrit is a kind of wasp. Right. So those are the 24 spiritual masters. He learned different things from those 24 spiritual masters, and in that list fish is also included. Fish, because there are five different living beings which face extreme trouble, or sometimes they die because of attraction to 5 different sense objects. 5 different sense objects, because they are attracted to different sense objects. And in the Padma Purana it's mentioned that these 5 of them are, they lose their lives, 5 of these, because of attraction to these 5 different sense objects. Only one, each one. Not 2, only 1. And what will happen to a person who has got 5 different senses, and then all 5 of them are not under control? They will surely meet death. Like fish, the fish is attracted to taste, because there are 5 sense objects, and then there are 5 sense organs, and then there are 5 different sense objects. Vishay. There is Indriya and there is Vishay. So the Vishay for the tongue is taste. So this fish is attracted to taste, and because of that the fish has to die, because there are sometimes the fishermen, they put the hook, they took a hook and then put the bait and then thread, they put that in the water, and then the fish does not see the death. Fish only sees, attracted to the taste, goes towards the hook, is interested only in the food, and then the fish gets trapped. So what we learn from the fish is, one thing is that the fish is superior to a tree, because it has developed, has got the sense of taste. And then we also learn from the fish that we should not be attracted to the taste. And we also learn a very important lesson from the fish. Like fish, we know that fish is an aquatic. Fish lives in the water, and there are other aquatics in the water. We have fish in the water, and there is also crocodile also lives in the water, and the tortoise also lives in the water. The fish, for fish, the only shelter is the water. If you take the fish out of water, the fish cannot live. But if you take the crocodile out of the water, if you take the tortoise out of the water, they can still live, they can still survive. But the fish, for the fish, the only shelter is the water. So what do we learn from that? Krishna is the only shelter. We should take only the shelter of Krishna and His holy name. Then we will be protected. Because if you take the fish out of the water, and then you try to feed the fish all the nice and different kinds of food. You start giving food, different kinds of food to the fish. Can we make the fish happy? No. And you try to, give some good medication to the fish and think that the fish will be happy. You can't make the fish happy. Or you try to take the fish in different, like aeroplane or a car or some train or something. You can't make the fish happy by taking the fish here and there around, taking the fish for a world tour. For the fish, the only shelter is the water. You put the fish in the water, if the fishes come out of the water, the fish will become happy. You can't make the fish happy by any other means. Similarly, we need to be connected to the Lord to be happy. So that's what we learn from the fish. And Prabhupada also says here about the snake. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also, we have got the trees. The trees have not developed the sense of taste, or does not, has got touch perception. They have developed the sense of touch, right? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also learning from the trees, right? He says, Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi saishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtane sadhari. He's learning from the tree as well. What is he learning from? What is saying we should learn from? Tolerance. And even Dattatreya Bhagavan, when he talks about the 24 Gurus, Prithvi is the first one that he learns from, it accepts lessons from. And the transformation of the earth is mountains and also the trees. What he learns from the trees is how to save others. Parupkar. Trees are there, so he's learning from that. And also we learn tolerance from the trees. So we can learn from the trees, we can learn from the fish, we can learn from. And so in the Padma Puran, so it's mentioned about the fish. Fish loses its life because of attraction to taste. And there is another animal which loses his life, dies because of attraction to the sense of touch. Which is that animal? Which is that animal? The animal is elephant. Elephant is attracted to the sense of touch. Elephant, because those people who want to catch elephants, that's the technique they use, because they keep one male. If they want to catch a big male elephant, they make a the body of a female elephant, like not a real one, but a duplicate one. Yeah. So they put one female elephant, and then they dig a big hole, and then they cover it with some bamboo or something, and then the male elephant comes towards the female elephant, just attracted to the sense of touch, and then comes and just doesn't see the hole, their big hole, and then they just fall into that big hole, and they're not fed for many days. They don't eat anything, and they become very weak, and then that's how they control them. So that's and sometimes they're killed, and the teeth of the elephants are taken. So that's elephant, which is attracted to the sense of touch. So one is touch, one is taste, and that which is attracted to smell, which is the living bees. Yeah, correct, bees. Bees are sometimes what bees do. Bees are so much attracted to the smell of certain flowers, like sometimes the lotus or some other flower, they sit in that flower, the flower is open, and then at the end of the day the flower closes and they're eaten by some animal. Right? Animal eats the flower and then they gets digested by the body of the animal. So they lose their lives just because of attraction to smell. And then there is, so fish is taste, the elephant is touch, and then what else did we speak about? Bees to smell. And then there is attraction to the sense of sound, yeah. Sound? Snake, yes. Snake is one of them, and there is also deer. Deer is another one, because the people, the hunters, if they want to catch deer, they will take someone who sings very nicely. They take a singer, or sometimes they take young people with nice voice and they will be singing, and then the hunter will be ready to shoot the deer. And they sing, and then the deer is attracted to the sound, the nice singing, the voice, nice voice and the nice songs. They come nearby and then they get trapped. The deer, and of course Prabhupada says here that the snake can listen to the sound of the frog, and then the frog is in trouble because of that sound. And there's one more left, and which is the next sense object. We have discussed 4 of them. The 5th one is sense of sight. So that there's one moth, pating or patinga, that is attracted. So they see the fire, they get closer to that. They've got very soft wings, and as soon as they approach the fire, the wings get burnt, and they drop dead into that fire. They drop into that fire and they die. So there are different lessons, and here Prabhupada says that there's a frog, and by making the sound, what frog does is, frog only invites the snake, and then they simply meet death. And the best use of the tongue, he's learning from the frog as well. Frog is another animal, and what we learn from the frog is that we should not make the sound like the frog. The frog, their tongue, they have got the tongue. The tongue should be used wisely. We should not use our tongue just like the frog is using its tongue. We should use our tongue to vibrate the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that will protect one from the cruel hands of death, Prabhupada says. So what we learned from this verse, it is summarized. Important thing, we are learning different kinds of living entities, different levels. And eventually it will conclude with the human beings who have accepted the process of devotional service. Those are the topmost human beings. But before that comes all the lower species with different levels of consciousness. And in this verse we look at those who have actually developed the sense perception. And out of those who have developed the sense perception, the ones who have developed the sense of taste is better than those who can just perceive touch. Right? So better than trees are, like example is fish, touch. And then better than that is taste. Like for example, fish. Right? So better is the fish. And then after that is those who have developed sense of smell. For example, bees. And then after that is sound. And snake, for example. Right? So that's so that's different level up. So different classes of, and then we also see that just like Kapil Bhagwan is talking about different classes here, we also know the Tatre Bhagwan learning different lessons from different animals, right? Including the same fish or deer or elephant, and also the patanga or the moth, and all these different things. And Prabhupada is also interested in pointing this out in the verse, that this is important, that we learn this from the fish, that we should not, from the frog, that we should not vibrate sounds just like frogs. We should chant the holy name of the Lord with our tongue. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Mahapurana ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Bhagwan ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji, while you are thinking.
So fish, Datatya Bhagwan is running from the fish. So what is the, he is running on lesson, but fish, do you mean that there is some gods?
No, it's not that. He has accepted many Siksha gurus. Siksha means learning different lessons from different things, including earth, including tolerance from the earth, including learning parupkar, paradhinta, all those things, learning from the earth. So similarly, fish, he learned from the fish. So accepting fish as a Siksha guru. He accepted 24 gurus, 24 preceptors, but it's not that he took initiation from them. He's just learning different lessons from different living beings, including fish. Okay, bro. Mataji. There's one verse in Padma Puran. There's one verse in Padma Puran, and I can give you that verse if you want. And yeah, it's in Padma Puran. And one of the acharyas have quoted that verse. Yeah. Yes, Mother.
So you mentioned that better than touch is taste, better than taste is
Smell, yeah.
and better than smell is sound.
Yeah, those who have developed, and then better than that, the different living entities who have developed those kinds of perception. Yeah.
Correct. And but in each of these circumstances, whether it is touch or taste or smell or sound, all of the connotations like an elephant or fish or honeybees or serpents, they get killed. Our serpent kills the frog, and the deer gets killed because it's depending on the sound. So what is good?
Now the thing that we were learning here is for example, taste, tongue. So when the tongue is not controlled,
Correct.
then we can die like a fish. There's a uncontrolled tongue is very dangerous. So the tongue can be controlled by two things. One is by chanting the holy name of the Lord, and also using the tongue to only taste the food that is offered to the Lord. And by that, the tongue can be controlled. Then we will be more careful. We won't be like a fish, only be attracted to the taste. Because sometimes people have no control over the tongue. They can eat anything and everything. So we should not be like a fish. Right? So that's the lesson we learn. The uncontrolled tongue can put us in dangerous situation like a fish.
How does one know what is the limit? Like, do we have a signal in our body which is really strong at all times, saying that this is enough? Is
self-control will come with devotional service. You know, when we keep chanting the holy name, then we will, now we are being controlled by our senses, but we will be able to, now we are like a godas. Godas means one who is controlled by the senses, godas. So the goal of human life is not to be a godas, but to be like Goswami. That will be the goal. Goswami means the control of one's senses. So when the senses are engaged, given high engagement, Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Digna Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Param Drishto Anivartam. When it's, you can't, if you don't engage them, they will still give you trouble. So you have to give them high engagement. Like for example, tongue, if it's used in vibrating the name of the Lord and tasting the food that's offered to the Lord, then it will come under control. And then gradually other senses will also come under control. So so we give them high engagement. Ears want to hear. So you just don't want to hear the mundane sound. You want to use the ears in hearing about the Lord, like you're sitting here in the class and hearing about the Lord. When you keep doing this, and when you keep hearing the holy name, then the ears will come under control. Then you will be able to tell now, your ears, or anyone's, like I'm not saying you, but those people who don't have the ears under control, the sense of hearing, then they want to hear anything and everything. As soon as someone starts talking about someone, blaspheming there, the ears will go there. They want to know what they're speaking about. But then the ears will get so controlled that you will only want to hear about the Lord. You want to hear the name of the Lord. You want to chant the holy name. So that's how you can control it, by giving higher engagement. Make sense, Mataji?
Yes.
So by giving it high engagement, just like a child, there's a child, the child is always restless, it will be active, just moving here and there. But you can't ask the child to sit down at one place. What do? Engage the child, give the child some better thing to do. And that's how the child will be controlled. Similarly, the senses are like that. You have to give it better engagement, and then they will come under control. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, I have one more question.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy you are writing notes. Well done. And you're chanting, you chanted the verse so nicely.
Yes,
very nicely. Thank you.
I have one more question. So, sometimes and most of the times the mind is not in control, because there are so many thoughts going on. Like for example, I stay alone in New Zealand, and then I'm thinking about my family, and then sometimes I feel disturbed.
Yeah.
Because I'm alone, and that develops a sense of fear as well, because my family is far away. And how does one control the mind through chanting? But also sometimes when I'm chanting, also my mind is getting diverted, thinking. So I'm trying to focus more on the chanting, and I'm trying to focus more again. So it's a process. I understand that it's a process, but is there any time frame that if I do say 16 rounds every day, then is there a time frame? And if I follow, a routine, and then dedicate, because sometimes it's almost like I'm so hard on myself. If I don't do it, I feel very strict.
Yeah. So thanks. Yeah. So there's two things that you mentioned. One is how do you control, and then how long will it take? So the thing is, the same question was asked by Arjuna. Arjuna said, Chanchalam himana Krishna pramati balavad dridam tasyaham nigraham anya vayuriva suduskaram. The mind is just so restless, it's so powerful. How do you control such a mind? It's just controlling the mind, I think it's just like as hard as controlling the wind. chanchalam himana Krishna pramati balavadra tasyaham nigraha manye. I consider that controlling this nigraha manye vayu riva sudushkaram. Like vayu, the air, it's hard to control the air. Similarly, I consider this mind so hard to control. And the Lord Krishna gave two things by which the mind could be controlled. He says, asamsya mahabhava manodur nigraham chalam abhyasena tu konteya vairagyena cha grihate. By two things. There is no doubt that this mind is hard to control, and there's no doubt about it. And Lord Krishna accepts that, whatever Arjuna said. But abhyasena tu konteya vairagyena cha grihate. Abhyas means practice. Just like, there are certain things that you are naturally doing now. When you first started, probably, do you drive? Do you drive, Mataji?
Sorry?
Do you drive?
I drive, but I don't have a car.
Yeah, but you know how to drive.
Yes.
But when you started driving, it was hard or not? It must have been hard initially when you start driving.
Actually, I feel exactly the other way around. When I started driving, I was not clear and I was really easy.
Yeah.
But now it is becoming
That's another point there. So the thing is, when you start learning something, then it doesn't happen naturally, but when you keep doing it, it just becomes easy. So similarly, you have to keep practicing. By practice, abhyas means like chanting regularly, hearing the Hari Katha, and reading the scriptures. So that's abhyas, practice. And vairagya means at the same time, there are certain things which you don't do, give it up. So that's keeping yourself away from things which don't help you. Keeping away from things which don't help you and doing things which you need to do. Those two things are important. And then how do you know when it will be read, when it will be controlled? So now you have been admitted to the hospital, you have come to the right hospital, the process has started, the curing process has started, you have started taking the medicine, and if it's not working, then you just increase the dose. If you are doing 16, make it 20 or 25, it will very, very soon you will be cured. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Mahapurana ki jai. Hare Krishna.